Introduction: What really produces success? By looking at the science behind what separates the extremely successful from the rest of us, we learn what we can do to be more like them, and find out in some cases what it's good that we aren't. Two men have died trying to do this. Outside magazine declared the race across America the toughest endurance even there is bar none. Cyclists cover 3,000 miles in less than 12 days, riding from San Diego to Atlantic City. Some might think, oh, that's like the Tour de France. They would be wrong. The Tour has stage breaks. The race across America, or REEM, does not stop. Every minute, rider take to sleep, to rest, to do anything other than pedal is another minute their competitors can use to defeat them. Riders average 3 hours of sleep per night reluctantly. 4 days into the race, and the top rider must debate when to rest, with the competition tightly clustered within an hour of each other. It is a decision that weighs heavily on them, knowing they will be passed and need to regain their position, and as the race goes on, they will grow weaker. There is no respite. The exhaustion, pain, and sleep deprivation only compound as they work their way across the entire United States. But in 2009, this does not affect the mind in the number one spot. He is literally half a day ahead of number 2. Joe Robic seems unbeatable. He has won the REEM 5 times, more than any other competitor ever, often crossing the finish line in under 9 days. In 2004, he bested the number 2 rider by 11 hours. Can you imagine watching an event during which, after the winners claim victory, you need to wait half a day in order to see the runner-up finish? It's only natural to wonder what made Robic so dominant and successful in such a grueling event. Was he genetically gifted? No. When he tested, he seemed physically typical for a top ultra-endurance athlete. Did he have the best trainer? No. His friend Yurok Velopek described Robic as completely uncoachable. In a piece for the New York Times, Dan Coyle revealed the edge Robic had over his competition that rendered him the greatest rider ever in the race across America: his insanity. That's not an exaggerated way of saying he was extreme. It's a literal way of saying that when Robic rode, he utterly lost his mind. He became paranoid, had tearful, emotional breakdowns, and saw cryptic meaning in the cracks of the streets beneath him. Robic would throw down his bike and walk toward the follow car of his team members, fists clenched and eyes ablaze. Wisely, they locked the doors. He leaped off his bike mid-race to engage in fist fight. With mailbox, he hallucinated one time seeing Mujahideen chasing him with guns. His then wife was so disturbed by Robic behavior, she locked herself in the team's trailer. Coyle wrote that Robic saw his insanity as awkward and embarrassing, but impossible to live without. What's fascinating is that Robic's gift was not unknown as an advantage in athletics. As far back as the 80s, scientists like Philip Tische and August Beer noted that an unsound mind can help an athlete ignore pain and push his or her body beyond its naturally conservative limits. I don't know about you, but my high school guidance counselor never told me that hallucinations, mild assault, and generalized insanity were vital to being a world-renowned success at anything. I was told to do my homework, play by the rules, and be nice. All of which raises a serious question: what really produces success? This book explores what brings success in the real world, and I mean life success, not merely making money. What attitudes and behaviors will help you achieve your goals in whatever arena you choose. career or personal. A lot of books cover one facet of the success diamond or prison theory without anything actionable. We're going to look at what works, then learn steps you can use to get where you want to go. What defines success for you is, well, up to you. It's about what you personally need to be happy at work and at home. But that doesn't mean success is arbitrary. You already know strategies to get you there that are very likely to work, consistent effort, and very unlikely to waking up the crack of noon every day. The problem lies in the huge gulf in the middle. You have been told about all the qualities and tactics that will help you get where you want to go, but there's no real proof. And perhaps you've seen plenty of exceptions. That's what we're going to look at in this book. For 8 years on my blog, Barking Up the Wrong Tree, I have been breaking down the research and interviewing experts about what makes a successful life, and I've been finding answers. Many of them are surprising. Some seem contradictory off the surface, but all of them provide insight into what we need to do to in our careers and our personal lives to get an edge. Much of what we've been told about the qualities that lead to achievement is logical, earnest, and doing right wrong. Well, explore the myth, look at the science behind what separates the extremely successful from the rest of us, learn what we can do to be more like them, and find out in some cases why it's good that we aren't. Sometimes what produces success is a raw talent. Sometimes it's the nice things our moms told us to do. And other times it's the exact opposite, which all saying are true and which are myth. Do nice guys finish last or first? Do quieters never win? Or is stubbornness the real enemy? Does confidence rule the day when it's just the delusion? In each chapter, we'll review both sides of the story. We'll see the strengths of its perspective. So, if anything seems like a slam dunk or a contradiction, hang with me. Both angles will present their case. Much like a trial, they will settle at the answer that give the best upside with the last downside. In chapter 1, we'll look at the whether playing it safe and doing what we're told really produce success. We'll learn about what Harvard professor Gautama Makunda calls intensifiers. Like cherubic insanity, intensifiers are qualities that on average are negative, but in certain contexts produce sweeping benefits that devastate the competition. We'll learn why valedictorians rarely become millionaires, why the best and worst US presidents are the ones who subvert the system, and how our biggest weakness might actually be our greatest strengths. In chapter 2, we'll find out when nice guys finish first as well as when Machiavelli was right on the money. We'll talk Wharton School professors who believe in compassionate business and altruism, and a teacher at Stanford whose research show hard work is overrated and kissing up is what gets promotions. We'll look at the pirates and prison gangs to see which rules even rule breakers follow, and find out how to strike the right balance between ambitiously getting ahead and being able to sleep at night. In chapter 3, we'll dive into Navy SEAL training and explore the emerging science of grit and resilience. We'll talk the economics of PhDs to calculate the best time to double our effort and when to throw in the towel. Kung Fu masters will teach us when being a flaky quitter is a great idea, and we'll learn the silly word that can help us decide when to stick with something and when giving up is the best move. Chapter 4, look at whether it's really is what you know or what you know. We'll see how the most network employees are often the most productive, but that the greatest experts almost invariably classify themselves as introverts, including an outstanding 90% of top athletes. We'll get insight from the most connected guy in Silicon Valley and learn how to network without feeling sleazy. In chapter 5, we'll look at attitude. We'll see how confidence can push us past what we think we're capable of, but how that needs to be balanced with a grounded view of the challenge ahead. We'll learn how the emerging science of mental contrasting can help us determine when to go all in and when to think twice. Most important, we'll look at new research that show why the entire confidence paradigm might be problematic at its core. In chapter 6, we step back to view the big picture and try to see how success in career aligns with success in life, and when it doesn't, is there any place for work-life balance in our 24/7 go world? Harvard Business School, Clayton Christensen, and Genghis Khan provide examples of how to find peace in a fast-moving office. We'll get lessons from tragic case studies of legends who achieved success but paid to step a price, sacrificing family and happiness. Success doesn't have to be something you see only on TV. It is about being perfect and knowing what you're best at and being properly aligned with your context. You don't need to be literally insane, like Joe Robic, but sometimes an ugly duckling can be a swan if it finds the right pond. The things that set you apart, the habits you may have tried to banish, the thing you were taunted for in school might ultimately grant you an unbeatable advantage. In fact, let's start there.